talking about a cruise ship. It just came back from one of the most remote routes on Earth. Antarctica, South Georgia, Tristan da Cunha. Yup, real places, not map trivia.
Latschanis vaadavad stantsest tankyydesta. Šobrākās pēcšķoju kovarēsiju mateikopēs cīnākaties aastasto.
Here's the thing. By the time the ship reached the Atlantic, several people had fallen ill. 3 were dead. Others were suspected or confirmed to have Hantavirus. And then the WHO said something that made the story explode. Human-to-human transmission might have happened.
Wait, Hantavirus. Exact. That mode virus. You know Mars and Mars.
Usually. Yep. And that usually is exactly where today's mystery begins. So, the ship is the MDS, a Dutch flag expedition cruise vessel. According to the WHO, it left Ushuaia, Argentina, on April 1, 2026. On board, 147 people total, 88 passengers, 59 crew, from 23 nationalities. Its route passed through some of the most isolated places in the South Atlantic.
Shonado Kaios Zitsunamis. Who must I had just civilization expedition? Weapon to stay.
Pretty much. Then, on April 6th, the first known case developed fever, headache, and diarrhea. By April 11, he had severe respiratory distress. He died on board.
That is just I was asked.
And it gets worse. His wife, a close contact, later developed gastrointestinal symptoms. She deteriorated during travel to South Africa and died on April 26th. Another passenger was medically evacuated to South Africa. That passenger tested positive for hantavirus. Then a German passenger died on May 2 with pneumonia-like illness.
Sugarship up there, suspected cases. Panilga has antas.
Exactly. By the WHO's May 4 update, 7 cases total. 2 confirmed, 5 suspected. 3 deaths. 1 critically ill, 3 with mild illness.
Hoga to in the Zarashune. This was Tabrik.
Nope. And that comparison is the trap. Hantaviruses are a family of viruses usually carried by rodents. People typically get infected by breathing in virus particles. These come from contaminated rodent urine, droppings, or saliva.
小ついにタートベのシャツソーバが質あたりにしてステリジョイス。セレンで父ちゃサムワンファレツサイクジユーモベダテレヒャ。
Right? In the Americas, hantaviruses can cause hantavirus cardiopulmonary syndrome, a severe disease that hits the lungs and heart. Early symptoms can look pretty vague. Fever, muscle aches, headache, stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Then, in severe cases, it can rapidly progress. Breathing trouble, shock, and ICU-level illness.
シャガーファジワーエルシサーゼ。なんでターザッチとエルスピージョワリ。But the process has you in case can have their horse.
Yep, exactly. The WHO says hantavirus diseases in the Americas can have a high fatality rate. And the CDC says hantavirus pulmonary syndrome is fatal in nearly 4 out of every 10 infected people.
That was how was you human tongues standards. Why is the good talking about human to human translation?
Because the pattern matters. Some cases were close contacts. A husband and wife, for example. The WHO's working assumption, as reported by Reuters, is this. The first infection may have happened off the ship, possibly during activities before or during the trip. And limited human-to-human spread may have happened later. That spread happened among very close contacts.
Should be a question this dash. Get the dead when one touched the same contaminated place. Or get an ancestor sentence that someone so studied.
Exactly. And there is one special suspect. Andes virus, a South American hantavirus. Most hantaviruses aren't known for spreading between humans. But Andy's virus is the exception. Limited person-to-person transmission has been documented, especially among household members, intimate partners, and close caregivers.
Shodas nasa tagayamashastasiyado ang kantatsalkanstatoka. Regimora mastace. One eragasha daravishtai can sometimes cause between people that happens tanda chat conditions.
Perfectly said. Put that on the thumbnail. Maybe with fewer words. Here's the thing. A cruise ship is not just a vehicle. It is a sealed social ecosystem. Shared cabins, shared air systems, shared dining, shared quarters, limited medical capacity, plus international passengers from all over.
Aswaden yatukamamaji kazofox. Voiceger.
Exactly. Hitbury didn't allow the ship to dock. As a precaution, authorities worked on medical evacuation and investigations. The WHO advised passengers to keep distance, stay in cabins where possible, monitor symptoms, and isolate if they got sick.
What's other horse? What could I suppose you'll create such a small situation there.
Goal isn't panic. The goal is time. Time to test and trace contacts, evacuate severe cases, clean the ship, and figure out the real source. Was it rodents, shore exposure, or limited person-to-person spread?
So how did I solve this?
They need 3 layers of evidence. First, clinical evidence. Who got sick, when, and how severely. Second, exposure evidence. Who had rodent exposure, shore excursions, or shared cabins, or caregiving contact in shared spaces. And third, genetic evidence. Sequencing the virus to see whether the cases are closely linked.
God's sake, I'm not figuring your side.
The WHO says serology, sequencing, and metagenomics are ongoing. Additional samples are being sent for testing, including to the Institut Pasteur are in Senegal.
Sean sequence and contact Thursday night. So stuck at the new way does is so stuck it.
Yep, and that's important. A good video shouldn't say human to human transmission confirmed. It should say this. The WHO is treating it as a precautionary working assumption.
Shaba should more than assume mistake. She'll say that always solutions. Avoid south and attack the zoid bias. Avoid everything.
Avoid panic. Respect rodents. That's the weird but accurate lesson.
Respect for such a word of house slogan.
But useful. Hantavirus prevention is mostly about avoiding rodent-contaminated dust. Don't try sweet droppings. Ventilate the space. Wet, clean, contaminated areas. Store food properly. And control rodent access.
That's a case.
Real story is how global health systems handle uncertainty. A rare virus appears in a closed environment. The source is unclear. Human-to-human spread is possible, but uncommon. Authorities have to protect the public without turning a limited outbreak into a misinformation circus.
Should still had eye distress. Human-to-human translation statistics. The actually had eye, but say this dice. Will those concepts to an has happened. And the top of us is an sure.
Exactly. And that difference is the whole story.